Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 165. How dare you? He has been gone too long. Toothless turned around at the sound of Fishlegs' voice. In truth, he had been thinking the same as he gave his account of how his sons became his, and how he and Moondust got together. Toothless glanced at Astrid, not surprised to find her staring at the cavern opening. "I'm sure he is fine," his aunt said. "He is an older youngling after all. How much trouble could he really get into?" Toothless felt his sensing lobes quiver and threatened to stand out straight from his skull at the dismissive tone in the elder dragoness's voice. His gaze swung back as he prepared his voice his displeasure at that, but his father spoke first. "You deliberately went behind my tail, didn't you?" Toothless heard the others shift and knew they were reacting to the growl in his father's voice. "I told you not to do this, and you deliberately disobeyed me." The aunt shook herself, snorting. "Nephew, it is the way of the elders overall. Your father is not the alpha. I am, and I forbade your game." "What is going on?" Astrid asked, and Toothless's sensing lobes dared her eyes as he heard the slight draconic growl to her voice. "Where is Hiccup?" "Likely not where I directed him to be," Mother said. Toothless saw her glare at Aunt and knew the elder had done what many did not think was possible. Mother was calm and easygoing, patient and benevolent to all who came near her. Aunt had somehow just made Mother livid. Toothless shared a glance with Spitfire. She tipped her head in question. That he knew was in his eyes. Mother and Father truly wanted Hiccup as their son, and not just to placate him. "You tested my son when my mate said not to, and given my son's past. I know he has taken it the wrong way. How dare you!" Toothless's eyes widened. He expected Astrid or Gita to lose their temper. He, and apparently everyone else, did not expect Fishlegs to yell. "I'm guessing this test," Fishlegs continued, spitting out the word test as if it left a bad taste in his mouth, "has Hiccup thinking you do not want him here. He would not have left otherwise." Aunt sighed. "That was not my intent. I was testing the youngling to see if he could handle someone other than himself being the centre of attention, and could be patient to wait his turn. I did not expect him to run." Toothless had no chance to grapple. Fishlegs stomped forward. Toothless and everyone else scrambled out of his way. Fishlegs stopped a scale's width from Aunt's muzzle. "For 15 years, Hiccup's only ever been the centre of attention when his blood father publicly yelled at him. More than half those times were for things Hiccup was innocent of. He was just easy and convenient to blame, or there were two fools who thought it was funny to have the chief yell at his son. For 15 years, Hiccup had to endure being shoved aside, ignored, abused, and finally disowned. How dare you add to that? How dare you undo all we have fought so hard to heal? If that is the way of the elders, I renounce my training to become one." "Elders teach, young one. Sometimes that teaching means testing." "Yes, but they do not deliberately hurt someone who does not deserve it. Hiccup does not deserve it. He would gladly step aside for Toothless in a heartbeat because he loves his brother and will do anything for him. Were you even at the big meeting where Hiccup and Toothless told the entire nest how they became brothers? How Hiccup's nest formed? Or did you not listen because you thought you were right in what you were doing? Well, the lava dweller Hiccup ordered Toothless to kill thought she was doing right as well. Thought that way for 300 years, and everyone still suffers because of her." Fishlegs spun to face Father and tipped his head. "Forgive me for leaving, Alpha of the nest, but I must find my Alpha." Toothless knew from the gleam in Father's eyes that Fishlegs just greatly impressed him. He impressed Toothless as well. Fishlegs was quiet and calm, even a bit timid, until he and Meatlug bonded. Now the youngling stood as any dragon worth their wings and defending an estimate. "We will all find my son," Father said before cutting his glaring gaze at Aunt. "And later I will speak with you again." They all moved towards the opening, though Toothless noticed Sandblast stop and turn back to Aunt. "Uncle Alpha wanted to make Dad a tail fin that he could operate alone." Sandblast began. "So Dad could come here, with just us and Mama, and Aunt Spitfire. Dad insisted on Uncle Alpha coming, because he wanted Uncle Alpha to meet all of you. Uncle Alpha taught my brothers and myself what it means to think of others before ourselves. You only thought of yourself. Elders shouldn't teach that." Sandblast turned away and bounded to his father's side. He looked up. "Dad, the elders back home will not act like her, will they?" "No, son. I will not allow that. Now, let's go find your uncle." Hiccup stepped out of an opening he found and down a corridor. After he left the cavern, he wandered through the corridors until he found the hall that led outside. He knew the others probably realized he was not coming back, and knew once they found him, he was in for it. But he had to step away. He would not stay and annoy Toothless's aunt. Toothless deserved to reconnect with his family without tension present.
"Young one," a male voice said from above, "may I land beside you?"
Toothless looked, finding another Night Fury hovering just off and up from the edge. Toothless shifted aside. The Night Fury landed, his wings twitching to a curl at his side. Hiccup stared at him, noting the spikes along the back, and the top of his head were taller than Toothless's father's, whose spikes stood taller than Shadewing and Toothless's. Hiccup guessed that meant that the dragon was older, or older than Toothless's father. Given that they called Toothless's father Aunt the Elder, Hiccup wondered what the role this Night Fury held was in the nest.
"Oh my, that feels better. Flying for so long will give you such a crick in the wings."
Hiccup blinked.
"You are not from this nest?"
The Night Fury tilted his head, and a curious light shone in his green eyes.
"I don't live here, no. But I am known to the Alpha of the nest, and I am allowed to come and go as I please."
"Oh," Hiccup said, half tempted to ask the dragon where he came from, and where all he had been, since it seemed as if the dragon flew around a lot. The dragon, however, shook himself, knocking some snow that was falling off his scales before staring at Hiccup.
"Humans don't do well in such cold weather, especially ones as small as you, young one. Are you okay?"
Hiccup turned away, arms crossing over his chest. He did not really want to get into it. It was silly and stupid to be upset over Toothless's aunt disliking him and wanting him gone. It was not becoming of a Viking, the son of a chief, or a human that dragons bowed to. A black wing curled around, but did not touch him, warding off the chilly wind.
"Young one, it is never good to seal such herds within. They do you a great deal of harm that way."
Hiccup sighed. "Toothless's aunt did not want me," he whispered, unsure why he decided to trust this unknown Night Fury. His soul seemed to ease and calm about it, and he had started trusting this soul, since he finally figured out that the powers it seemed to hold were the gut instincts he so long followed growing up. It had been no knee-jerk realization, just a silent twitch of his mind as he was training with Gida over listening to his core and the warnings it would give as he used his magic. The alpha magic side of him purred, and the part that rose with Flying Toothless warbled in concert with the core's pulses. Hiccup asked to suspend the training after that, as he had to search his memory for all the times his gut warned him about something, and he noticed that he had heard those same sounds each time.
"I see," the Night Fury said, and then sighed. "Do not take to heart what she says or does, young one. She is a product of old thinking, and that I thought was gone from the world. She is a product of old thinking that I thought was gone from the dragons. She believes in testing those of the nest she serves, but forgets that sometimes a test is not needed, or that the one she gives the test to has already proven himself."
Hiccup frowned.
"You sound like you know her well." The Night Fury chortled. "You could say that. Now I hear some humans and dragons calling for someone named Hiccup. Would that be you?"
Hiccup ducked his head. "Yes," he whispered, suddenly very ashamed of his name.
"You don't like your name?"
Hiccup shrugged. "Sometimes. It means a runt, after all. Or a mistake."
"You are neither, by the way. Go on back to your flock, young one, and thank you for letting me rest my wings beside you. A small piece of advice. Do not worry overmuch over what others think of you from now on. Your nest loves you. Your flock loves you. Those are not a part of either can sway that.
Black wings lifted, and Hiccup shivered when the chilled wind bit at him again. He turned around and headed back towards the opening, but paused when he did not hear the dragon follow him. He turned back, and found the dragon spreading his wings and looking skyward.
"Thank you,"
Hiccup said, realizing the Night Fury was not coming in, and was in fact leaving. The Night Fury looked over his wing, and Hiccup blinked at a faint hue of blue ghosted the spikes at the top of the dragon's muzzle.
"No, the young one. Thank you. For more than you know."
With that, the dragon took to the skies, and Hiccup watched him meet up with a burnt amber-coloured dragon Hiccup had never seen before. Both dragons greeted each other and flew away from the nest. Hiccup shivered again as the wind bit at him once more. He entered the nest, wondering if he would ever meet either of those dragons again. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Oh boy, go fish legs! Yes! It's the quiet ones who snap the loudest, and I love that. This is a Night Fury who's seen a lot of stuff. Remember, she is extremely old, and he was literally a scale's width from her face. Yes, you go, future elder. Show the generational things don't need to stick around. Ha! And we'll see who that Night Fury was in the future. That I promise you. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, whatever time zone you're in. Bye, my guys, gals, and bye, my pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.